Rob McCool here at the Liberty Clinic because it is time for my annual checkup. And as I head into the Liberty Clinic, I'm wondering, okay, have I developed any health problems in the last year? And it has been quite a last year, as you well know. So here I go into the entrance of the Liberty Clinic, ready to find out just how healthy I really am. Hi, I'm Rob McCool, also known as Ron McCoy. It is Wednesday, February 12th, and I am at the Liberty Clinic in Liberty, Missouri for my annual checkup. Up first, a weigh-in. Picturing myself as a svelte 173 pounds, but in actuality, I weighed in at 190 pounds. My first thought was, oh my gosh, I've been eating too much. However, my doctor explained it this way: Rob, the extra weight could be because you are building more muscle, especially because you are more active now than you were before. And the first thing that pops into my mind is, yes, I am very active in my job at Ross. I'm busy all the time. As you know, if you've been watching these videos, rolling Hummers full of merchandise out to the floor of the store, slicing open boxes and hefting merchandise into the Hummers and into the blue bins, muscling gigantic rugs into their upright position in the display racks. Building muscle? That could be an explanation for why I've gained 17 pounds. My blood pressure came in at 128/78, which they said was good. The very next day, I received a phone call with the results of the blood work that had been done while I was in the doctor's office, and everything came back excellent. Cholesterol, everything was perfect. Other than my 17-pound weight gain, I was doing great. So I have a feeling I know why I have gained that 17 pounds. Yes, partially because of the extra muscle that I've built up, but I have a feeling there's another reason behind it. I'm going to be considering that and other weighty topics, so stay tuned. We are opening her up and rolling forth into great adventures this week. This is an excerpt from the last video newsletter that I did during this current school year back on September 7 at the height of the stress that I was experiencing as fifth grade teacher at Liberty Oaks Elementary School. Do I look any different then compared to now? In other words, do I look like I've gained weight since September 7, 2024? When I look at that video made a little over 6.5 months ago, and I think back to the incredibly horrible stress that I was under, it's amazing I looked as great as I did. You can be in our adventures with us by following us on Twitter. The link can be found in the small version of the newsletter, and coming next week, it's issue number 6, Green Flag, coming your way for the week ending Friday, September 20, 2024. be sure to tune in this video version, as well as the small version of Mr. McCoy's Weekly Log. That newsletter video was made on the afternoon of the day after I was called into the office at the end of the day on a Friday and was told by my principal and the head of human resources that the way I was managing my class was not the way I could continue to manage my class. They told me that the things that I did 20 years ago in the year 2004, I could not do in the year 2024. Things such as expecting students to sit up at their desks. I was told that doing group restroom breaks was not something we do anymore, and that students should be able to get up and leave class anytime they wanted to. I was also told that it was not okay to question the social worker who was pulling two of my students, but who didn't tell me about it ahead of time. Those kinds of things. If only I could have had a principal like the principal featured in this video. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. A Baton Rouge principal is going viral on TikTok, inspiring teachers by bringing his office on wheels, as you can see, to staff and students. How about that?
It's a nice office right there.
I like that.
Bigger than my office, I'd say. Fox 44's Anna Conejo tells us how this could help an industry hit hard by people leaving.
Principal Jared Lamb has gone viral with videos like these.
Because as a principal, visibility matters. How am I supporting teachers and students if I'm sitting behind a desk all day?
Where he documents new ways education leaders across the country can inspire.
They'll reach out and they say, you know, I actually have a cart, I got a cart this year and it's actually transformed the work that I'm doing on my campus, or it's changed how I've been able to support teachers.
Wow, a principal who supports teachers, a principal who is out and about in the building in a positive way, in a professional way, a principal who can communicate his ideas to teachers rather than just keeping track of how many mistakes teachers make. Of course, I was told by my principal that it can't be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that I can make no more mistakes. Seems like Principal Jared Lamb would be okay with mistakes because that's how people learn. If only I could have had a principal like Jared Lamb, I would still be in the classroom.
The student just threw a sandwich at me when I was on lunch duty. Sorry, we can't remove her from the cafeteria. We don't want her missing out on any of her nutritional minutes.
Does that sound familiar? Sounds just like my former principal.
Have you tried building a relationship with her?
Again, sounds like my former principal. Are you serious?
I just wanted to let you know, you're going to really have to call and apologize to that parent. But wait, that's not even what happened. You're asking me to call and apologize before you even hear my side? Can you do me a favor and just make the call?
And that sounds somewhat like my former principal. What I've never understood is why we kowtow to parents. The parents have to send their students to school. Why is it that we bow down to parents and try to make them happy all the time? Why can't we stand up for what is right? And if the parents don't like it, too bad.
Oh, don't mind me. Pretend I'm not even here. I'm just here for a quick, unscheduled, formal observation.
The difference between Jared Lamb and my principal is Jared Lamb smiles during his observations of teachers. Mine would scowl when she came into my room. I always used to say that my former school, and specifically this one administrator, that was the reason why I stayed so slim, because I could eat anything I wanted to when I had an appetite, because my former school and administrator, that was my diet plan. I never gained weight because of that stress that I was under every single day for nearly 20 years.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Here it is, already early April, and I'm envisioning myself back in my classroom. Everyone knows what it's like to attempt to teach students in the spring.
Students should not be allowed to curse out their teacher and remain in class. This time of year, student behavior ramps up. The combination of warmer weather, spring testing, and the end of the school year is a recipe for escalated student behaviors. As a new administrator, I fell victim to the spring. I didn't hold students accountable, and spring became an uphill battle of disrespect, threats, and even physical violence. Here's what I do differently now. Each spring I activate Dean Mode. In Dean Mode, I make student behavior support my #1 thing. I'm out in the hallways. I'm in and out of classrooms. We match extreme situations with an appropriate consequence.
Hear him say, consequence? At my previous school, those have been done away with. Oh, how I hope my previous principal is watching this video.
I ask the teacher, is everyone following instructions, or is there someone who needs to come with me? And when a student is preventing their classmates from learning, I'll take the student with me so that the teacher can teach and the other 27 students can learn. Spring isn't a time for administrators to hide in the office, and we don't set teachers up for success when we ask them to manage student behaviors on their own. Administrators must take action to maintain a safe learning environment for everyone. I do it by activating Dean Mode.
And that, dear friends, is where I got into trouble because I took matters into my own hands, because I knew that my administrator, my principal, would not provide appropriate consequences for students. If I sent my students to what we called the care room, they would be sent back almost immediately, and they would not have learned from what they had done wrong. There were no real consequences. Oh, if only Jared Lamb had been my administrator. If you would like to weigh in on how much you are enjoying this video, then please click on like. You can also click on subscribe, as well as on the notification bell so you always know when I'm uploading a new video. And now back to Rob McCool's Mid-60s Misadventures. Teachers are not the problem in education. They are the key to its solution. Give them respect, a voice, the support they deserve, and watch them unlock incredible potential in every student. More brilliant words of wisdom from Dr. Brad Johnson. And I feel like that quote in particular resonates with me because I always felt like I was an anachronism in education. I was always different from every other educator for a number of reasons, but I felt like I was able to help students go from point A to point Z through the entire school year. My techniques were different from virtually all other instructors, but the bottom line is I feel like my students emerged as successes. And I feel like one day I will be back in the classroom, maybe in the next school year, maybe in the school year after that. One way or the other, I feel like truly incredible things are coming.
For students, but also caters to the needs of teachers.
Creates a sense of community, and it really makes the teachers feel like they have someone who is there for them.
Yes, if I could find a principal like Jared Lamb, I would return to the classroom and teach for at least 11 more years. Perhaps it's possible. Ride right along with me as we continue Rob McCool's Mid-60s Misadventures.